The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report, TV and radio. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Welcome to PWR Sudden Impact Radio, breaking down all that happened on tonight's Impact Wrestling broadcast on Spike TV. Sudden Impact Radio is on the air.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to Sudden Impact Radio, right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the man they call me Dad. Thank you again for joining us, 10 o'clock Central, right after Impact Wrestling. We have got an amazing show for you tonight. Again, we are going to go 60 minutes solid. I am the man they call me Dad, if you didn't check that out. And joining me, as always, Dwayne. Dwayne, welcome to the program.
How's it going?
Dwayne, welcome to the program. Dwayne, hello. Dwayne Williams, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Like we're having a little bit of problem with... I can hear you. This isn't Verizon. I can hear you very clear. Dwayne, welcome to the show.
All right. How's it going?
Sounds like we're having some... we call that in the business operator error is what it sounds like. It sounds a little Oscar Echo. We'll close that job out. 9:59 to 10 o'clock. That one's closed. All right.
Yeah.
So, Dwayne, welcome back. We're going to talk about a very... different Impact tonight. I think we'll use the word different to talk about what happened here. And we're also going to talk about what Hulk Hogan has been up to. Now, Hulk's up there in age, Dwayne. You know, he's getting a little bit older, but apparently he's, you know, a lot of older guys' hero because the Hulkster has a sex video. Unbelievable. Now, Dwayne,
yeah,
I know that you've seen this already, right?
I know. I mean,
I know you've seen this already,
story.
right?
I've seen the story, but I haven't.
Oh, you've seen the story?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. So you're not watching the Hulkster. Get it on, brother.
No, I'll definitely pass on that one.
It's not a sex tape I'll be watching either. Is this the first time ever? Now, when Tommy Lee and Pam Anderson got their tape out, both people were famous in that, right? Tommy Lee, drummer of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Pam
definitely.
Anderson, you know, centerfold for Playboy, Baywatch, you know, all that good stuff. But is this the first time that you know of that the sex tape, the only famous person, is a brother?
Yeah. I think that may be. I'm trying to think of anybody else, but I think that may be the case.
I mean, when sex tapes come out, you've got your Kardashian.
Yeah.
Well, X-Pac was famous, but it was with China.
Right?
But they were both famous. We
Right.
knew who they were. This is the first one to come out with just a dude, brother. Hulk Hogan has a sex tape. Now, was it one he made himself? No. But and I did watch a quick video on TMZ during an interview with Hogan and Hogan's lawyer, and Hogan goes, "Look, brother, right after I divorced Linda, brother, I went brother wild, brother. I was taking out brunettes left and right, brother." And he doesn't know who he slept with. Hell, he can have a rash on there that he wouldn't know where to track down, brother.
That's not good. Do you think that?
No, it's not good.
Possibly,
brother,
he leaked this just to get in the news?
That's a definite possibility. Do I think it's actuality? Hogan is and this, I don't say this in the negative light that it might come off, but Hogan is a master manipulator. You know what I mean? And I don't want that to be a negative thing. But Hogan, he knows how to work things, brother. And it's quite possible, but in all actuality, I don't think he did it. I don't think so. And like I was saying, you know, with Hogan being in his 60s, he's a lot of older guys' hero because not only is he still getting it on, brother, he's got his show on tape. Now, Is it a good show? I have no idea. Not going to watch it. Don't care. Excuse me. But it's I don't know how this works out for TNA either, but this may end up working out okay for TNA because, to be honest, do you associate Hulk Hogan with TNA if you're outside of a wrestling fan?
No.
No. Do you know Hogan is in wrestling still if you're not a wrestling fan?
You're aware of the Hogan brand.
The last time? Right. And the last time the Hogan brand was on television, besides micro wrestling, the last time the Hogan brand was on television was Hogan Knows Best. That's it.
Well.
And is this more damaging to Hogan than it would be to, say, anybody else that's had the sex tapes? Like, I don't think it was damaging to Tommy and Pam to have a sex tape, or Pam and Bret Michaels to have a sex tape, or a Kardashian. Do you think it's damaging to Hogan?
Definitely.
Do you think TNA severs their relationship with? I'm just going to keep shooting questions at you, Dwayne. You're the answer guy tonight. Do you think they sever a relationship with them, or do you think they just push it under the rug?
They're going to push it under the rug. Brother.
Well, Hogan not on TV tonight, but his protege was. How many segments did we have young Garett Bischoff this evening?
I couldn't believe it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. For those that are listening and want to call into the program, number to call in tonight, area code 347-996-5278, or you can call us at 877-317-9772. You press number 1 if you want to talk on the program tonight. We're going to be doing a 1-hour program for you, talking about Impact Wrestling and talking about Hogan, getting it on, brother. Let's run down a little bit of Impact. And again, I don't know if they're paying attention or it's just the way things are running, but Robert Roode not leading off the show again, and that's okay. He got on TV, just not to open the show like he had for a month in a row. But unfortunately, I guess we have to pick our poison because Ric Flair, Gunner, and Eric Bischoff kicked off the show, and when those three are on TV over the last how many months, Dwayne, it means it's time to talk Garett Bischoff.
Yeah, they're not stopping with this thing. This Garett Bischoff.
Not only are they not stopping, what they did during the whole promo that they cut in the ring, as Bischoff tells everybody he met with Sting and made a match of Gunner and a partner of his choosing. Here comes Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle would be happy to help, Gunner take out that punk that doesn't listen. That Garett Bischoff, you dastardly dog, you. But Kurt's going to be tagging with Gunner. Gunner has to go run around the back and figure out who's going to be his partner. Now, what I meant by an odd show tonight was, again, for those that read spoilers, there was a little twist at the end of the show. If you read the spoilers and think you know what was going to happen, they actually changed it. There was a issue with Jeff Hardy during the taping of this show. Hardy was sick and was not able to wrestle the first match, but they taped it again later on. So what you saw tonight was Hardy actually come out be Gunner's partner. What you knew of, and again, I don't know who reads spoilers. I, try not to read them either, but I did read them while we were going through the show just to see what was going on. Hardy apparently wasn't at the show, but they taped it later on. So, like I said, a little bit of odd feel going on. But Gunner running around looking for people to be his partner, not for me. They even opened the show with Gunner before the promo of him coming out and, Dwayne, I don't know how far back your WCW viewing goes. How far back did you watch WCW? Did you watch during the NWO days where it first started off in '96? Hello? All right, looks like we lost Dwayne there for a moment. What I was alluding to was somehow during the '96 portion of Nitro when the NWO was running wild. Yeah, Dwayne, I gotcha. Somehow during the '96 portion of Nitro when the NWO was going wild, Dwayne, did you watch that back then during the '96, '97, '98 when the NWO was in control of everything?
Yeah, I watched.
Did you see the way Garett pulled up today? Did you see the way Garett pulled up? What kind of vehicle did he pull up in? Were you thinking Black Hummer?
I didn't want to think that, but it puts you in that vein.
I was like, dude, it's a white Hummer, no black Hummer. Who's driving the Hummer? Oh, oh my God, I had a bad flashback there. But yeah, they let off with Garett talking, then they go into them talking about Garett. How many different promos in the middle of Garett Bischoff? Dude, Eric Watts 2012 is, this whole show's got to stop, man. It's really ruining Impact for me. The rest of the show, I could deal with what's going on. You're getting some solid wrestling out of the X Division. You got a story that's still a little stale with, AJ, Daniels, and Kazarian, but that got a little bit of fresh life put into it. But the Garett Bischoff thing, man, I'm getting just sick of it.
Well, I started sick of it.
I didn't mind the first week, the 2 weeks of it, when it was, I want to be a wrestler. Yeah, I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to train and say my prayers and eat my vitamins, and I'm going to be a wrestler. Well, after that went on for a few weeks in a row, I was pretty much done with it. Where he got in, he's smacking his dad around. His dad told him to stop those awful promos in the ring, him getting prime TV time over and over and over. But anyways, they set up a main event. But what I enjoyed most was coming up next. My favorite couple, I don't know, again, Dwayne, we talk about this whenever I get the chance. We talk about it here on Sudden Impact. EY and ODB, #1 contenders for the Knockout Tag Team belts. Now, I'm going to ask you how you feel about this in a second once I break down the match. They wrestled Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. And not only did they wrestle them, they beat them and became the new TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions. Madison accidentally hitting Gail with one of the belts that cost them the match. And new Tag Team Champions, new Tag Team Knockout Champions, by the way. So Eric Young is the Knockout Champion. Dwayne, how do you feel about Eric Young holding a women's belt?
Well, let me start by saying this. I was rooting for them to win some tag team gold. I assumed that it was going to be some type of fluke win for the Impact Wrestling titles. I had no idea that it would eventually become the Knockout titles. I mean, it's a fun little spot. It's something WWE would do if they had a tag team. Divas division. I mean, it's fun. I'm not bothered by it. I think it was a little soon to do the marriage proposal. I think they could have, waited a couple weeks after the, them winning the titles. But I'm not bothered by it.
I'm not bothered by it either, and I think you're right as far as they could have let it go a little bit farther. But what I mean by a little bit farther is they could have had the title match a little bit farther down the road. Let them wrestle as a team, build up. And you know what I've noticed? I noticed it tonight more than any other night. And I think this is pretty clever, to be honest with you. You think Eric Young being in a match with 3 women, one his partner, 2 the opponents, there would be male-on-female violence. There's not.
They've been very careful
clever.
with that.
It's very clever if you look at it, because I really kind of sat and watched it this time. When Eric Young physically makes contact with one of the girls, does he pull off a physically damaging move? You know what the only move he pulled off tonight? Airplane spin. The dual airplane spin. That was it. And he didn't hurt them. He sat them back on their feet. I was very impressed with, maybe they've been doing this the whole time and I didn't notice it, but I'm very impressed with the way they do it, because when the girls wanted to attack them, the girls kept hitting Eric. When Eric wanted to do something, he would, put his hand on him. What are you doing? Hey, do this, hey, do that. He sat her up on a belt buckle. He did all that, but there was no physical violence, I guess is the way I would put it. And the only way that the pin happened was from him collapsing on top of the other girl. And he just laid there. He didn't, it wasn't a submissive move. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I thought it was well done.
Now tell me this, the amount of care that they're taking to make sure that they're not interacting in that type of way, is it a little weird that they're really going, making noticeable and a conscious effort to not have them do that. When in other instances they may, call each other some of the most horrible names, and there's no brakes put on in those situations. Unfortunately, it's our society. I mean, because if you think about it, America versus other countries, where we're so. I'm trying to think of the right word, and I know you guys listening on iTunes and on YouTube that are listening to the show from across the pond have the word for me. We're so I can't think of it. The term. I mean, Europe, for example, they're so relaxed. There's nudity is not a big deal, and their TV shows aren't so violent. Liberal? But Americans are just liberal. That's a good word to start with. Americans are just that way, where language is acceptable. Not acceptable, on television, but they'll show violence. They'll show gore. Nudity not acceptable, but they'll show people doing drugs and killing. You know what I mean? Right. So, and again, those make sure you put your comments on the YouTube page for the word that I'm looking for. So those of you across the pond, you guys are way better off than we are right now when it comes to that. But yeah, they're definitely taking a lot of care to make sure that there's not any serious violence. So, again, the numbers, if you want to call in tonight, we're going to jump in the phone zone in just a couple minutes after we come back from break. The number 347-996-5278 or area code 877-317-9772. You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. Stick around.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, real. Don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now. Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
Saturday, March 31st. History will be made for internet wrestling fans. 3 of the biggest shows for wrestling commentary will come together for a WrestleMania weekend special. Pro Wrestling Report's Damian Nelson and David Hero will join with Aftermath's Artur Ocal and Jimmy Corderas, who will join with Chairshot Reality's Justin LaBar and Josh Eisenberg for a WrestleMania special weekend. Friday from 7 till close, join the 3 shows at the 2nd annual Kevin Nash WrestleMania party at Ocean's 10. VIP tickets are $99. General admission ticket is $15. Tickets can be purchased at pwrshow.com. Saturday, history will be made as the 3 shows come together on camera. 1 p.m. at Shuckers Bar and Grill. Come be a part of the taping for the WrestleMania special that will air WrestleMania Sunday on WrestleZone.com. All ages are welcome to come get their face on camera during the taping, then hang out with the whole crew on the beautiful patio at Shuckers Bar and Grill.
Welcome back to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio, the man they call me Ed, joined by Dwayne as always. We're going to start taking calls. Again, if you want to call in and talk to us on the program, area code 347-996-5278 or 877-317-9772. You want to talk about Impact Wrestling tonight. Also, don't forget the chat-osphere is live and wide open. You're going to hit us up over there, and make sure you're using Twitter at PWR Show. Also, if you use the hashtag Sudden Impact, you might get your tweet right on the air. Plus, Facebook.com/PWR. Head on over there, take a look, and interact with us. So, ready to go to phones, Dwayne?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let us start off with, we don't want to go impact-wise, so let's start off with, I'm going to call out area code 646. 646, give me your first name and the area you're calling from.
Hey, what's up? This is Biff from the Bronx.
All right.
Biff from the Bronx, what is going on? You're on Sudden Impact.
Hey, what's up, guys? You know, been a couple weeks since I called. It was kind of weird to see Eric Bischoff's son, I can't remember his name, Eric Watts 2.0, as you call him, on the show more
Eric
than
Watts,
the heavyweight
2012,
champion.
Garett?
Yeah, 2012. He was on the show more than Bobby Roode. What's going to happen?
I think he's going to be the heavyweight champion in 2013.
Oh, God. That, maybe like ROH and heavyweight champion or some other next brand, but hopefully not TNA.
No. Hopefully not either. How did you think the show went tonight? Did you think it was a pass or a fail?
I think it was a fail. Nothing new that was significant happened. Why do we need to have a pay-per-view where Sting fights Bobby Roode before the pay-per-view where Sting fights Bobby Roode fights James Storm? Like, why is this pay-per-view? Like, this is just weird. It's a weird concept. Why don't we just have them fight the next pay-per-view like every other pay-per-view?
Right. It kind of crushes the fact that Sting probably isn't going to win the belt, or it's not going to be a title match. Why does Sting get to jump in line ahead of James Storm, who's the quote-unquote number one contender? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Do we need to see another month of James Storm versus Bully Ray? And Bully Ray's not moving up. It's not elevating Bully Ray. It's not elevating James Storm. It's pretty much like they're buying time. It's like buying time for what? Is it going to be a big payoff? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, the Impact, like I said, it was a very odd show tonight. Slammiversary is going to mark their 10th anniversary being in TNA, so, that's one of their four. Kind of like the WWE has the four major pay-per-views. Slammiversary is one of their big pay-per-views. They do also take it out of the Impact Zone, which should make things, a lot more interesting. But, I hope we get a big payoff. There's no doubt that we should get a payoff. And if it's just an advancement in next week's TV, I'd be very upset.
All right, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I don't want to take up too much time. Love you guys every Thursday. Have a good night.
Not a problem.
All right. Take it easy.
Appreciate you calling in. Thanks for calling in. Dwayne, how do you feel about that with the way they're treating the main event for Victory Road versus the main event for Slammiversary?
Well, I mean, on one hand, they have to promote some type of main event far enough in advance. That one way of looking at it is that, the card could change.
Could. Yeah. But not a spoiler per se, but I'm going to spoil it for everyone anyways. Another bit of TNA news is James Storm's, the Cowboy James Storm, his theme music was just released to radio. That nice country song that he's got there. Yeah. And that's going to do nothing but build him up. There's a payoff. And James Storm, I believe, in Nashville, I believe is where Slammiversary is going to win the World Heavyweight title. And they're going to make him the company guy. That's where Bobby Roode loses the belt. It's all the stars are lined up.
Yeah.
Like I said, not a real spoiler, but all roads point to it. So, hey, it is what it is. I think it's a good excuse me. I think it's a good marketing move to not only do you have a guy that can sell great merchandise, he's a character. He can sell beer koozies. He could sell cowboy hats, foam fingers. Hey, he's got hot ring music, and it's a great song, and it's going to be on radio. They might actually make some money off of this song. Who knows? But it's a good way to promote him. Let Bobby do something else. As great as his title run has been, and again, I don't have the dates in front of me. You guys will correct me or put it in the chatosphere or, put up the details underneath the YouTube page after you've researched it. But Bobby Roode has had a good run. He's established now. We now know Bobby Roode is main event material, and he's proven it. Nothing wrong with what he's doing, but I think it's time to move on to the next thing. And I think the next thing is Cowboy James Storm winning that belt and having a face champion for a while. It freshens things up.
Yeah, it's necessary, but at the same time, I hope that Storm, doesn't, fall into the same category that, let's say, we were talking about a 97 WCW, Sting, when he was chasing the title, it was a lot more fun than when he actually got the title.
And exciting.
Right.
Right.
Right. And
well,
so
when he got
I hope
the title?
Yeah, I mean, when he got the title, when he got the title, you felt a sense of accomplishment, but then after a while, it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
I'm just
a
fan of a heel champion.
So many. Yeah. When he got the title, there's so many screw jobs that were going on because there was Hogan, trying to get him from this end, get him from that end. There was the finish that didn't happen where they had to go ahead and replay it on Thunder, because they ran out of time and all that other stuff. And then there was no champion, tournament to be champ. I mean, all sorts of just screw jobs. So Sting didn't get a proper face run once he beat Hogan, and that's not the Scorpion Sting, but the Crow Sting. That's what I meant. That Sting when he had that huge build up and finally got it at Starrcade. And I remember the pay-per-view match, man. I was jacked. I was a wrestling fan. I marked for the whole thing. Even though I was kind of rooting for Hogan at that point, I still marked for Sting winning. I mean, it was a fantastic match. I think, wasn't Bret Hart the special guest referee in that one too?
Yeah. Yeah,
it was. I want to say Starrcade '97. It sounds about right. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But and let's talk about the Stinger. I'm not saying he's hogging the spotlight, but so Sting's crazy, not crazy. He's crazy, but not crazy. So he's, and I enjoy crazy Sting when he stays crazy Sting. Sitting there putting makeup on himself. He puts makeup on Eric, made up Eric's beard, and they gave us a nice close-up of Eric's beard. I haven't talked about his beard for a while, but that thing is huge. Eric's got a tiny face under there. I wouldn't be surprised if Eric parted the hairs of his beard, that 3 or 4 little birds would come out singing, kind of like Peter Griffin.
I wish he would cut the beard. And if they go through this wedding deal, they need to cut the beard.
and to be honest, and this is just me thinking out loud, but with that beard, do you think she just a little raw, maybe? Just a little raw on some pieces of her skin? Like her face.
Maybe.
Bam! I think her face gets a little rug burn.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, again, me thinking out loud. I'm a married man. I know how these things work. You got to keep the nails clean. You got to keep them trim. You got to, you got to shave the face. I know how these things work. So let's go back to the phone zones before I get us kicked off the air here. We're going to call out the area code 269. First name and where you're calling from. Go ahead.
David from Michigan.
269, go ahead. David from Michigan, welcome back to Sudden Impact. Michigan. What do you want to talk about tonight? Yep, what do you want to talk about tonight?
I did think about the white Hummer thing that brought from back WCW.
Exactly.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Go ahead.
I want to talk about Joseph Park.
Oh, do we have to?
And I don't know.
It's okay.
Well, it was so blatantly
stay on the phone
obvious.
call with us. Try to turn down your computer for us, please. I just need you to focus on this because the delay is really tearing us up here. Focus on the call. Let's talk about Joseph Parks. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I just think it was blatantly obvious that that's a bit. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody, but
I was pained by the segment, Dwayne, and I'm going to have you chime in a second here. I was pained by the segment because, I enjoy having Penn and Teller on TV every once in a while, but I don't like Penn when he's involved in wrestling, because that's who that was, right? That was Penn.
Got me.
Are my jokes falling on a dead audience? Hello, is this thing on? Hello? Dwayne, what did you think about? What did you think about Abyss's quote-unquote brother?
It was absolutely terrible. It's just one of those, every now and then, you get someone who's not a fan to watch it, and when they finally do, this is the type of stuff that comes on the TV.
Yeah, and even more so, the acting. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if it was just the way the segments were set up, produced, whatever, but it was painful to watch, very painful. So, David, on an overall pass or fail scale, how did you feel Impact was tonight?
I thought it was a pass, and I think Ring of Honor is a good show. I don't think the last caller seemed like talking bad about Ring of Honor. I just got Ring of Honor in my area.
Yeah, no, we're not. There wasn't a slam on Ring of Honor. Again, David, thank you for the call. Hope to talk to you again next week. It wasn't a slam on Ring of Honor, but the Ring of Honor is number 3. I mean, it's real basic here in the country. WWE number 1, TNA number 2, Ring of Honor number 3. WWE, we've made this analogy before. WWE fans know about WWE. They also may know about TNA and Ring of Honor, but there's so many WWE fans that have no idea there's a TNA or Ring of Honor. TNA fans know about WWE. Every one of them does. There isn't a single TNA fan that doesn't know about WWE. Ring of Honor fans all know about TNA and WWE. There isn't a single fan that doesn't know about those two. The point I'm trying to make is WWE is a global company, so everyone knows about them. When you think big-time wrestling, it comes to the E first. Now, if you're a big wrestling fan, you know about TNA. And if you're a diehard, wrestling fan that loves to go to indie shows and loves to go to, a little bit more intimate settings, you know about Ring of Honor. So there's no slam on Ring of Honor, but the joke was that Garett Bischoff could be a Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. I really think they're going to put a belt on Garett Bischoff in the next 16 months, 18 months. I hate to say it, but Dwayne, I think they're going to put a belt on him.
I don't know what you're talking about. They are going to put a belt on him much sooner than that. Not the Impact.
I was just trying to be a pessimist.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's definitely going to get a title. Be it tag, be it singles, he's definitely going to have a title. And it's going to be pretty soon. Yeah, I could see that in his future.
Title.
As for the Ring of Honor, I don't think that Garett could do anything over there. I don't think that he's seasoned enough to be able to compete over there. And to also address what you said as far as Impact Wrestling, as far as Ring of Honor, I don't think that the big thing is they don't attract a casual fan at all. So anybody that's watching TNA or Ring of Honor is pretty much a diehard wrestling fan.
Right, you're absolutely right. The only thing that TNA has over Ring of Honor right now is some money and some former big-name talents.
That's it.
That's the difference over Ring of Honor. I think they both put on great wrestling. TNA has a lot more television exposure. They've also got money to go overseas. I mean, look what they did in London. Those shows were outstanding. And TNA is got a big name over there. Not because, again, we got chewed out. Well, actually, I got chewed out on this because, English fans are so desperate for wrestling, American anything. That's not the case. Please let me make that clear. Maybe you misunderstood when I said it, but no, it's the English appreciate TNA and what they're doing. They also appreciate WWE as well. So I appreciate the English for listening to the program. Want to take another call, or you want to take a quick break?
I'll take another call.
Let's take another call. All right. 973, I want you to go ahead and tell us what state you're calling from and what's your first name.
Yeah, I'm calling from the home of WrestleMania 29, New York. My name is Don.
Don from New York. What's going to happen at WrestleMania 29? And again, this is an Impact show, but I just got a quick question for you. What's going to happen when that famous New York, New Jersey April comes around and it's snowing in the ring?
It doesn't snow in April. It'll be fine. We'll be fine, just like we're going to hold the Super Bowl there, and the Jets and Giants will play in it, and it'll be a great day for New York. All of New York and your Packers will be home ice fishing again.
Oh, boy. Let's talk about Impact. What's going on? What did you think of the show tonight?
Well, first off, you posed the question rhetorically, Meathead, will the Hogan brand be damaged by this sex tape? And I say no, actually the brand is going to be strengthened because, let's face it, by the brand you mean the one TV rental center deal he has? I mean, yeah, that's right up the, that sex tape is right up the Jerry Springer crowd at that TV rental center market anyway, so that's, you know, no disrespect. I respect
a very
Mr. Hogan's
astute
place
point
in the industry, but when you're gonna hang yourself out there by putting sex tapes and then you come out with this stupid presser today, I had this drunken rage, and he came out with this big justified statement, that was just you're making it worse. Just shut up, But
and it was ironic. And I assume you're talking about. Don, 1 second. I assume you're talking about the conversation that I heard on TMZ today with his lawyer and Harvey Goldstein, or I forget, Ira Gold. I forget.
Yeah, I
his
heard
name.
something. He came out with this big justification and explanation how this is time in his life when he's having battle with substances, and he was, come on, just yeah.
Well,
anyway,
the part I find funny is that his lawyer was there to just let it happen.
Brother,
Don, anything else you want to talk about on Impact tonight?
Well, yeah, I have my one beef with TNA tonight is, when you get to date the hot chick and then you got to go hang out with the chick that has pimples and wears librarian glasses, you don't like it, it's not as good. That's how I feel. We got to see this crowd in England when TNA went over. This crowd was just hanging over, the rafters, going crazy. And if you even watch Raka King, their new show in India, they're going crazy. That Impact Zone tonight, it seemed like they had planted a row in the front of of people to cheer, and then the people in the back were queuing off them. I mean, you have to do something with that crowd. I mean, move the show to New York or Chicago where you can get a smaller show, but you can get rabid, real wrestling fans. That crowd looked like the Universal crowd where, what time were we going to see the porpoises, swim through the hoops? Let's see, they're all looking at their watches, when's the next ride, That crowd was awful tonight. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Dwayne, definitely, that's something we've talked about here on Impact Radio, Sudden Impact Radio, for a long time, is the crowd is really killing the show, and it was tough to watch. It really was. Again, looking forward to having the Slammiversary pay-per-view in a new building, but even if I understand the financials of it. I understand the financials of being in a TV studio. Universal is paying them to have a show. Okay, they don't pay Universal. Universal pays them to put on a television product there. It's something for the people to come in and watch. Okay, I understand the financial of having all the cameras there, taping a bunch of shows in a row. You're not flying talent in and out every day. You fly in the boys and the girls for 3-4 days, whatever you got to do. Flying back out, they're free for a month. They can go out and do their other things, but man, it just does not help your television product at all. And you would think with Hogan, with Bischoff, and Hogan's television friends, especially Wonder Years. I can't think of his name. What is Wonder Years? Harvey. What's the kid's name? Hervey. Dwayne, help me out here. Jason Hervey. Thank you, Dwayne. Jason Hervey, who used to be on the Wonder Years, who does all the producing. Best friends with Eric Bischoff, but the television product is just stale. It is nasty. Don, anything else? Pass or fail tonight?
No, thank you for taking my call.
Sure, not a problem. Thank you. Dwayne, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about Impact, particular wrestler returns, and much, much more. You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. Stick around.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, real. Missed an episode on the Pro Wrestling Report? Thanks, pal. Subscribe to the show on iTunes and take the show with you wherever you go, even in the bathroom.
Saturday, March 31st. history will be made for internet wrestling fans. 3 of the biggest shows for wrestling commentary will come together for a WrestleMania weekend special. Pro Wrestling Report's Damian Nelson and David Hero will join with Aftermath's Artur Ocal and Jimmy Corderas, who will join with Chairshot Reality's Justin LaBar and Josh Eisenberg for a WrestleMania special weekend. Friday from 7 till close, join the 3 shows at the 2nd annual Kevin Nash WrestleMania Party at Ocean's 10. VIP tickets are $99. General admission ticket is $15. Tickets can be purchased at pwrshow.com. Saturday, history will be made as the 3 shows come together on camera. 1 p.m. at Shucker's Bar and Grill. Come be a part of the taping for the WrestleMania special that will air WrestleMania Sunday on WrestleZone.com. All ages are welcome to come get their face on camera during the taping, then hang out with the whole crew on the beautiful patio at Shucker's Bar and Grill.
You're listening to the most popular sports show on Blog Talk Radio, the Pro Wrestling Report. There's only one place to get the latest from pro wrestling, including the only place to get 100% verified wrestling news. PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com, where you'll never find pop-ups or misleading headlines. Watch or listen to all of our latest TV and radio broadcasts on demand, and get caught up on wrestling news between episodes. PWRshow.com is the cleanest, friendliest, and most fan-friendly source for wrestling news on the web.
Welcome back to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. The man they call Meathead, Dwayne Williams, talking Impact Wrestling from tonight. Show went off the air about 42 minutes ago now, and there's still some things that I guess I'm just perplexed about. I'm flummoxed, if you will. Not sure why they would do the things they do. Dwayne, we're going to jump back into talking about Impact for a bit here, and where we left off was with EY and ODB winning the tag team championships for the knockouts. So EY is a knockout tag team champion. But we came back from commercial, and EY was on his knees and proposed to ODB. ODB, of course, flipped it around. She got on her knees and proposed. Who knows? Maybe that it was, February 29th. It was leap year, the leap day, and when they taped it, and maybe she was proposing to him. They hug, they kiss, they make out in the ring, they move on. Austin Aries, A-Double, had an amazing promo. We heard earlier in the program from Mike Tenay, who nonchalantly mentions that Sting has now sent an email to Austin Aries that he will be having a title match later in the evening. Now, Zema Ion, Austin Aries, they've been putting on some great matches. Dwayne, how did you feel the segment with Austin Aries talking about the email, talking about how he's going to take his talents to South Beach, translating into the match? How do you feel that all went? All right, we're having some technical difficulties with Dwayne there. We're going to talk about the match here. Zema Ion getting a title shot against Austin Aries. He wins, but by DQ with the X Division title on the line, so Austin Aries keeping the belt. I thought the promo with Austin Aries were, Sting, email now. Wow, hey, pal, thanks for joining the 21st century. Austin Aries continuing to shine week after week. I thought he shined over the last few weeks. Again,
absolutely.
Man, fantastic promo, and also we had a fantastic match from him. Dwayne, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Austin Aries and the X Division on the whole right now. They're one of the shining lights in this whole TNA experience, Impact Wrestling experience.
Yeah, and tell me that Austin Aries does not shine every week. I mean, the guy looks like a serious talent. I love the little shot in there about taking his talents to the South Beach.
Yeah, I think that he pushes the envelope. They need somebody there like that to keep them on their toes, and he has the talent to back it up.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Zima Ion, a little busted up. He was chewing on a little blood in the mouth there. He took a shot.
I mean, that's definitely going to happen.
All right. Yeah.
Doing the type of moves that they do.
Of course. Let's move on. Bully Ray coming out. Again, Bully Ray cuts a little promo before, and I thought the promos, man, a lot of excess outside the ring television tonight. How did you notice that too? There was a lot of TV that wasn't happening in the ring. There was one segment, and I forget exactly what point of the program, but there was one segment where we got 4 different little interview segments, interview spots where, nothing, and then it moved on to this, and it moved on to this, and it moved on to this Parks guy who, again, looked like Penn from Penn and Teller. But just odd stuff. Just real uncomfortable.
I didn't realize it as much, while I was watching it. But you're absolutely right. I couldn't put my finger on what it was.
Stuff. But Bully Ray again, by far one of the best heels on the show. He comes out to the ring and says he demands that he gets Bobby Roode. He should be the number 1 contender. He gets Bobby Roode. Sting, playing off of him real well. I thought the interaction between Sting and Bully was fantastic. Sting even saying, "Oh, look at those calves, the biggest calves in the business. Whoa, man, those things are scaring me." But set up a match right away. So Bully Ray and Bobby Roode go to a no contest and a non-title match. James Storm does come out at the close to the end of the match, and he chased Bully Ray off to the back. Storm hitting the last call, which is otherwise known as sweet chin music, which is otherwise just a kick to the face. Storm hitting the last call on Roode twice to end the segment. Our caller was right when it comes down to, are they going to keep just having James Storm sitting in the waiting? That's how it felt to me. Don't forget, James Storm is the number 1 contender. He's going to wrestle in April. Not this month. Not on the pay-per-view this Sunday. Put in April. He's going to get the title match. So just hold on there, James. You're getting a title match. Let all these other guys beat up on the champ first, but you'll get your title match. Just awkward TV. Real awkward. Next segment, we see Crimson and Mac Morgan sitting in the back talking about who let who lose the belts and so forth. A little tension between the two of them, but they're getting a match to determine who's going to be the number 1 contender for the TNA Tag Team titles. Crimson and Morgan flew through Robbie E. and Robbie T. And by the way, when we go out and do our promo work, our press work for Sudden Impact Radio, you and I are going to wear those sweaters, without a doubt. I know I can pull it off. I assume you could pull it off. You and me in pink sweaters, it'll be hot. No pun intended.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, those were very, very, 2004, where pink was the new black. Very hot stuff. Oh!
You're on fire tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the sweaters. You know what they did do tonight, though, is they made sure not to zoom in on the TNA TV title. I still have that picture on my phone with half of the jewels missing off of it.
Yeah.
But Crimson and Matt Morgan blown through Robbie E. and Robbie T. And Robbie T did do one of the moves that he's very good at. He flexed and he posed. I mean, he's a former bodybuilder, and, did a lot of competitive bodybuilding. So he showed off one of his big talents, and he's really good at it. When it was that flex and pose move that he did. So following up after that, we had AJ Styles coming out to talk about TNA's 10-year anniversary, coming up. But Christopher Daniels and Kazarian come out eventually, and this segment was painful. Again, another painful segment. Did you notice, Dwayne, how long this thing went on, or how long it felt like it went on?
Yeah, they need to move along with this. Since we've had the departure of Russo, have you noticed the overall flow of things to be better, worse, or the same?
The same, but not really. I've noticed some segments, some programs are moving better. and I've noticed some things kind of just sitting there spinning their wheels. I'll give you an example. The tag team tournament that they had, who, thought that we were going to get two solid angles out of one match. The match with AJ Styles and Kazarian versus Samoa Joe and Brutus Magnus.
All right.
That match that was a pivotal mark for two complete storylines. Moved on those guys to become tag team champions and be the tag team that they are now. It also moved on Kazarian turning on AJ and dragging this thing out now. And, boy, I never thought that we'd get that much action out of that. So that was kind of written well. The stuff with Garett, Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, and Gunner, that has gone on for what seems like 6 months. Literally 6 months. So, I want to say some things have gotten better. I'll give you another positive. Bobby Roode as a champion has gotten better. Yeah. Jeff Hardy's stuff has even gotten a little bit better. I enjoy Jeff Hardy's stuff. But let's talk about what's going on with the X Division. Besides Austin Aries working with Zema Ion and a very small piece with Kid Cash, nothing. I enjoy the X Division, but besides those, couple guys, where the hell was Alex Shelley? He shows up for a couple weeks and he's done? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a couple more phone calls. If you want to call into the program, area code 347-996-5278 or area code 877-317-9772. You are once again listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, real. There's only one place to get the latest from pro wrestling, including the only place to get 100% verified wrestling news. PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com, where you'll never find pop-ups or misleading headlines. Watch or listen to all of our latest TV and radio broadcasts on demand. And get caught up on wrestling news between episodes. PWRshow.com is the cleanest, friendliest, and most fan-friendly source for wrestling news on the web.
Welcome back to Sudden Impact Radio on Blog Talk Radio. The man they call Meathead, Dwayne Williams. We're going to take you through up until 11 o'clock here Central Time. Got a couple more calls we want to get to. Again, if you want to try to get into the program before we wrap things up, 347-996-5278, 877-317-9772. Also, Twitter at PWR Show. You can also use the hashtag Sudden Impact. And you got a chance of getting your tweet read on the air. First off, we're going to go out to 951. What's your first name and the state you're calling from? Go ahead, 951.
My name is Mike, and I'm from Moreno Valley, California.
All right, Mike, what's going on? What do you want to talk about?
Well, ever since Russo left TNA, I haven't seen much of a difference. It's still the same stale stuff. And truth, I'm tired of seeing a storyline. Like, they need to start pushing the younger talent. Let Bobby Roode get over by himself. Let him and Strowman finally go at it. I don't see why Sting should be in the main event for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, with Sting being in the main event for the pay-per-view, but I think they're also pushing the younger talents because here we're seeing, your cruiserweights, kind of WCW style. Here you're seeing your cruiserweights with the A-Double and Zema Ion getting their shot. You're also seeing Jeff Hardy finally get in there and get some stuff, even though he's not one of the younger guys. But Bobby Roode as a champion is, I think he's solid. And once James Storm gets him in the match at Slammiversary, I think it's a chance for James Storm to get that title back again.
Yeah, and A-Double, that guy is a phenomenal talent. I don't know why Vince McMahon is not pounding down his door.